If you could automate one daily task in your personal life, what it would be?
Not only IT corporate, even other things, we should enjoy what we do.
When I was a junior, we used to think like team leads are just assigning tasks and
Yeah.
just freely roaming. And I've seen people retiring with technical architect. Like they had been VP, they had been CTO. How do you yourself maintain work-life balance in such a dynamic and demanding field? What is one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you started in this field? Maybe a tough choice for you. UiPath, Automation Anywhere, or Power Automate. You have to pick one.
They are like, oh,
You're here to
you
eat
are
our
the
jobs.
exactly.
So, hello everyone, welcome back to this channel and one another exciting podcast. So, where we deep dive into world of automation, AI, emerging technologies. Today, we have very incredible guest with us who has been forefront of intelligent automation and RPA over a decade. So, Pradnya is our guest who is joining us as an expert into intelligent automation field with over 10 years of experience, ranging across multiple sectors, media, insurance, healthcare, banking, you name it, she has it in her portfolio. So with hands-on experience in technologies such as UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Power Automate, Pradnya has helped business drive efficiency and productivity through cutting-edge automation solutions. So in this episode, we will uncover her journey in automation, intelligent automation at scale, and her insights on the future of automation. Get ready for an inspiring conversation. I welcome Pradnya to the podcast.
Hey, hi, Dipenda. Thank you so much for this great opportunity to be on this podcast with you. I hope you are doing good today.
Yep, I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So Pradnya, would you like to introduce yourself briefly to the audience?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, everyone. So, basically, I'm currently working as a project manager. I'm having more than 10 years of experience, and the good part is I started my career with the RPA only. So, just to give you background, initially for 2-3 months, I was working as a L2 support engineer in one of the BPO firm. But then eventually, I understood that we had to send a lot of similar repetitive updates to the stakeholder based on the different regions. And that is the trigger point when I understood that yes, we can do some automation. And that time I did that with the VP script and landed up with the green belt and those things. And then that's how my manager understood that she is more interested into the automation. And I'm talking about 2015-16 year. So that time the RPA was recently started booming in the market, and I that's how then I started my journey with the RPA actually. So I was working on the automation anywhere as my first RPA tool to start with.
Superb, superb. That's an inspiring journey, like working in a BPO for some time and then looking out for the direction, what
Exactly.
interests you and what excites you. And then, I mind you that it's not an easy thing to do. Transitioning within the organization from the kind of work you are put into and then traveling through what you're interested into. Like traversing that path itself is a challenging journey, and I have been through that as well.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So,
Okay.
what inspired you to pursue your career? So, I got to know that you started your career into one project. After your engineering, you did project with, you were assigned one project, and there you felt that there are a lot of repetitive work which you see as a scope for automation. But what really inspired you to build a career into this space?
Okay, because see, those were hardly couple of months of span, I would say, when I was working as a L2 support engineer. So that time only I understood that we are, as a human, we are doing the same repetitive work somewhere. For example, sharing the updates based on the SLA every hour, 2 hours, just some modification here and there. Then why not? Why we can't go for the automation? This was a very small trigger, as I told you. And then I could see that RPA was wonderful. We could automate the front end. I sat with one of my friend and saw that how the automation is working, and especially that was the trigger point for me to start my journey with the RPA, because as a developer, when we deploy or complete one end-to-end automation and we just click on the run button. Earlier it was very common, earlier days, just to click on the run button. Now the schedulers and those things are there, but I'm talking about that journey. So it was giving one satisfaction that yes, we are helping to human beings to reduce their work. We are helping them to improvise the efficiency. If I talk about some use cases, just to give you background, those were really recon related process. It was taking almost 1 to 2 hours to complete one dashboard and everything, like recon process. But with the automation, we did it in hardly 2-3 minutes after automation. So that's the impact where we are actually saving the AHT. So then I understood that it's very interesting. And I think I started with the automation anywhere from the 10th version, 10, 3, 7, 11, A360, then started with the UiPath, and now almost 3 years I'm into the Power Automate transition things. So I understood with the stages, with the new patches of the RPA tools, it's getting evolved. The new AI features are coming, AI OCR, I would say Metabot, IQBot, then document automation, AI Center, AI Builder, whatnot. So that actually made us to not get so bored with the same activity. Rather, it helps to do those tasks with more efficiency and the intelligence. So that's how the I thought RPA journey is very interesting for me.
Okay. Super. So that help you pave your path, and
Yes,
there's a saying, right? If you work on certain things that excites you or that you're
true.
passionate about, then your growth also happens eventually. That's a byproduct. You don't have to really worry about on, and that's what you are a
Exactly.
real life example for that,
Exactly.
and people can relate to it. So
That's how actually I feel Dipendra, be it automation, be it Java, be it .NET, any other field, not only IT corporate, even other things, we should enjoy what we do.
yeah,
That's how it will keep on motivating us. Do some work for some time, we understand whether we are
yeah,
right for this or not.
true,
So
true.
self-realization definitely will come.
Completely agree. And self-realization as well as reflection should be part of your journey. So, with the discussion around, like Pradnya, I want to touch base upon you had worked as an RPA developer. You had started your career as a core developer. Then you have moved to managing
Yeah,
projects, right? Management
yeah,
positions. So, what difference do you see? And there are two questions in this discussion. One is like, what difference do you see in the nature of work? Most of the people stick around with the technology for long,
yeah,
and they don't like managing people management stuff. But for growth, people management is one
must.
of the way, right? You cannot be just sit and do a development work, because companies and organization will expect more value from you at
Yeah,
certain point of time.
true.
And how it has been for you, basically how it would look for you as in working as an RPA and then managing RPA projects. How has been that journey?
Okay, so what motivated me to move to the management is I when I was working as a developer for the client
Mhm.
through my previous service-based company. So there I got to some understanding that yes, I'm good into that part of the managing, because on the off record I was managing some projects. I was giving the report to my service-based company's manager. That's how that journey started. So I was started working as an active team lead. So then I understood, yes, I can do this part also better along with the technical stuff. So that's how then I applied for this management role when I
Mhm.
joined the Bajaj. So my management journey actually starts from there.
Okay, okay. And what are the challenges you find?
Oh, the biggest challenge I would say my perspective got changed, because when I
Mhm.
was a developer, hardly 1 or 2 years experience I am saying, and I'm 100% sure that most of the 1 2 year experience guys think that manager don't have work to do. That's the fact, because I was also thinking the same way initially.
Yeah,
They say we think like manager just assign the task.
yeah.
That's what the manager does, but that's not the reality. When we actually jump into that step, then we
Mhm.
understand, because manager has to do a lot of things. The first thing is bringing the right projects on the table, because
Mhm. Mhm.
nowadays I had faced some challenges, because few people just come up with a new idea for the automation, but
Mhm.
identifying the right automation opportunity is a must for the
Yeah.
organization growth, that I feel. So,
Mhm.
and then the people management is a big task that I
Yeah.
can see.
So I think everybody would be able to relate to this
Yeah,
point, because when I was a junior, even we used to think like team leads are just assigning tasks and just
yeah,
freely roaming and then asking statuses at the end of the day. I mean, we want to be team lead, but when we actually went to that role, then we understood like
that's
we
what.
have to implement as well as take care, follow along with the team and take care of
Exactly.
other accountabilities, other responsibilities. So yeah.
Exactly. So what I follow is I don't believe into the micromanagement, coming back to your question. And we should take our team along with us, and sometimes if it is needed, you have to see it and actually work. It's not just that you are assigning the task, you need to help them. Even if you are not aware about the new trends, let's say just an example, you should learn it so that they will understand that yes, my manager also with us. So she is also working, then we should also. So it's a kind of friendly nature I
Yeah.
try to establish with my team actually.
Yeah, if you're just not a manager, if you're a leader, you
Exactly.
truly would have those traits to follow your team along. Super. Thanks for sharing those insights. And what would be your take on RPA developers' career trajectory? So, what would be the general advice or a perception for folks who are still a senior RPA developer or lead RPA developer?
Okay, so I would say nowadays RPA is evolving like anything. Now we have the touch of AI. So earlier, if you see, I'm talking about 10 years back stories, we had very limited features, I would say, but now everything is possible. You can read even handwritten documents, invoices, you can do the document automation, you can train it. So everything is available. So what I would suggest is just don't stick to the traditional RPA. We should keep on learning the new things, which are the new trends in the market, so that it is very essential for every individual to stay updated. So that is the main important thing I would say.
And how they can plan their journey, maybe from lead to, is there any technical role also available for folks who are not interested into management?
Yes. So, let's say you want to move further in your career journey. There are two ways. One is you can either go towards management side, the way I decided, and the second one you can go for the technical architect role. So
Mhm.
that is also one of the beautiful role I would say, because for every
Yeah.
project, architect is a key
Mhm.
person,
Yeah.
because he had to handle not only the project end to end, but the infra technical issues that developer face. So it's one of the beautiful roles. So if they are
Mhm.
not wishing to go for management side, I would suggest technical architect would be the best fit for them.
Yeah, to the audience and guys, like if you feel that moving to the management is only a way to progress in career, no, that's not the case. If you are technically interested and you still want to remain into tech field, you can move this towards this path, like being a technical architect, enterprise architect. And I've seen people retiring with technical architect, like they had been VP, they had been CTO, but still doing the technical stuff. So you can follow that career trajectory as well. Pradnya, any memorable lesson that you learned 10 years of your career or your journey in automation space? Would you like to share any of that?
So earlier days when even let's say when water is going live, so we used to cut the cakes. That was the tradition earlier. Nowadays it's not there, but it was one of the way of expressing the our joy that this bot is live. So we used to call our stakeholders and then developer team, our manager, and we used to
Mhm.
do parties for a big go live project. That was a good memory, I would say.
Awesome. It
Have you
sounds
have you
really,
ever done this?
no,
No?
no,
Okay.
it really sounds fun.
Exactly.
Maybe we can start with AI agents. So once our AI agents along with RPA bots go live for the very first few cases, we can do that. Good idea.
Good. Because this was one of the way to motivate, developers to do more
Yeah.
efficiently.
Superb. With so much of the work right into the space, like there are a number of bots running, supporting production related applications. There is always a support team needed, or a developer needed every time whenever the bots goes down, because there it needs an
True.
intervention from a technology standpoint and also from other BAU stuff. So how do you advise, or how do you yourself maintain work life balance in such a dynamic and demanding field?
Yes. Now, when I'm saying about work-life balance into this demanding field, then the very first thing what I do is whenever we log in for a day, what
Mhm.
is the task that I need to do? Maybe I can use the sticky notes or OneNote or
Mm.
whatever it is, to-do
Mhm.
list kind of
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
So what I need to do for the day, how many meetings are scheduled for the day? Do I need to take a follow-up? So I just give a 5 or 10 minutes to prioritize my work for a day, and
Mhm.
then I give some target to myself also that I need to complete this stuff in the first half. Okay,
mm,
so
mm,
that's how
mm.
the prioritization and time management help us to be more focused to do the high impacting task. And delegation is also one of the things, so that it helps other also to groom, and it helps also to manage the work. So that's the one thing I follow actually.
That's very good. That's very good point. Rather than just working randomly on stuff, it's better to plan your day and give yourself a minute goals and micro goals, what we will call for the day. Awesome. Thank you so much for those insights as well. Moving on to the next section, I have kept a rapid fire section also in this podcast.
Oh, okay.
I expect you to answer quickly, like as quickly as possible. Generally, it's 5 to 10 seconds.
Oh,
So I'll
okay.
be asking you a few questions, and I'll love to hear your response on that. Superb. So
Okay, let's go.
yeah. So what's the first word that comes in your mind when you hear the word automation?
Oh, that's very interesting question. Future, because automation is the future.
Yeah. If you could automate one daily task in your personal life, what it would be?
For the personal life, rather than a personal life, I would try to automate the email and meeting scheduler task for myself, because that will really save my
Hmm.
at least 10-15 minutes of a day every to start with.
Superb. That's coming, I think, in MS Copilot or something. Maybe a tough choice for you. UiPath, Automation Anywhere, or Power Automate. You have to pick one.
Um, I see. I started my journey with the automation anywhere, so there is always love, a special love for the automation anywhere.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I can pick the automation anywhere.
Okay, cool. One tech trend that excites you the most right now?
Agentic automation.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Exactly.
Superb. If not automation, what career path would you have chosen?
I would have chosen the data science or some Python related stuff.
Thank you so much for answering all those questions and very quickly. Let's move on to the next questions. Can you tell me about the process or approach that you follow for identifying areas within your company that can benefit from automation? Like basically, how do you do process discoveries and all stuff like that?
Okay, so for that, my approach is little different. So first of all, I believe that we should understand the organization first at a high level. Let's say there will be a different department. If I'm taking example of any finance industry, just it came in my mind, so I'm giving example. So there will be different departments like payment, banking, customer service, collection, loan department, etc. So we need to sit with someone with the right person to understand in which department the more manual work is, right? And from which department the company is getting more revenue, so that we can target those areas as a first to start with for the automation journey. Now, then next step, we need to sit with those stakeholder or the process owners, or we can call the SME also. So we need to understand the processes, and as a developer, business analyst, or a manager, by understanding or looking at the processes only, we will get to know whether we can automate this or not, right? So out of, let's say, 10 processes, we are picking 2 or 3 for the automations. Once that is done, we should focus on now ROI part, because that is more important, right? So we can ask some basic questions like how many full-time employees FTs are deployed for this? Can I run this process in the night? Can I run it in the early morning? We can manage the bot utilization also, because we don't just have to run the bot, but we have to manage the infra also and the cost savings, right? Now, the second question we will ask them, how soon you want this to be executed? What is the turnaround time? Because these are some business terms that we usually deal with whenever we pick any use case for the RPA. So, what is the manual AHT, average handling time? Let's say they are doing it in a 10 minutes. So, ideally, through automation, we should not go beyond 10 minutes. Otherwise, there is no meaning of it, right? Usually. In some cases, we can take an exception, but usually we should not go for such a higher AHT. So that saving we can show them. There are some other factors also, like volume. That is a key factor. Based on that, we will understand the flow. Are there any seasonal volume that we are expecting? So these are a small ROI related factors which help us to pick the prioritization for those RPA pipeline. That's how I actually identify. But depending, this is very traditional way,
Mm-hmm.
for identifying the approach. But now, apart from that, there is a task mining
Yeah.
tools are available in the market. Even within our RPA tool itself, those are available.
Yeah.
Let's say take an example of a Power Automate. If you don't want to go for that, you want a more customization into it. In the market, those tools are available.
True. Yep, yep. We talk about exploring or discovering new use cases. Now, next question would be, what are some common challenges that companies face while implementing these automations?
Okay, so first thing is process selection because
Mm.
it's one of the best task I would say, because not
Mm.
every process can fit into the automation.
Yeah.
Dipendra, I remember the days from the 2015-16. So whenever we were connecting to stakeholder, for the
Mm,
new
mm,
use
mm.
case, some approach was little different. That time the stakeholders were like, if you are automating this, then will there be a job security concern for
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Literally, when just one incident I remember. So that time, if during the introduction, if I'm saying that I'm working with the RPA team or I'm from
Mm,
the RPA
mm.
team, they are like,
You
oh,
are
you
you
are
are
the
here
one.
to
You
eat
are
our
the
jobs.
exactly. So that used to come. I'm during 15, 16, 17
True.
years. But nowadays that's not the thing. I'm now it's a different way. In fact,
Mm.
the stakeholders are reaching out to you and they are saying, yeah, Pradnya, this is the process we are doing and it's literally
Mm.
taking too much of time. Can you do
Yeah,
something through the RPA? So that's the approach, because
yeah,
every
yeah.
organization is moving towards the digitalization.
Correct, correct. The dynamics have
So
changed now. Yep, yep,
exactly. Now
yep.
there are some scalability issues, which is I face as a challenge, because then let's say all of a sudden the volume is getting increased from 14,000 to 10,000. Maybe the company ran some campaign automations in the night and promotional campaigns basically. So due to that, then company got so many requests, and now we have already 10 bots with us. Now, if
Mm.
it's a cloud, it's very easy to expand scalability. There is no issue at all. We can expand it, but
Yeah.
then access is the issue. We have to create the bot IDs also, but that is also fine. But if we are on on-prem servers, then getting a new hardware is literally takes some time. Those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
some issues from the scalability point, and that's the
Mm,
reason
mm,
I
mm,
said I asked this question particularly while picking the RPA use case. Do we
mm,
see any seasonal volume?
yeah, yeah.
So
That
that
is
we can,
important. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. So these issues. And then the challenge, the major one is, even there is a approved PDD, process design document, the stakeholders always come up
Requirements
with the
keep on
new
changing.
changes.
Yep, yep.
So it's a constant throughout my journey. That
Yeah.
is the main challenge I have
That's
seen, but
gonna happen everywhere and in every part of
everywhere.
requirement gathering, no matter what solution we are
Exactly.
building.
Exactly.
So,
Then some changes into the timeline. So, but the best thing, if we follow the agile
mm,
method, better to connect with the stakeholder at least
mm,
twice in
mm,
a
mm,
week, show them
mm.
whatever you have developed, so that rather than showing the end product to them directly, it is better to show them in a pieces
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
merge it.
True. There are a lot of discussions and debates around following agile in RPA landscape. I mean, that's a altogether different topic of
Yeah.
another discussion. Maybe we'll skip that for now. Thanks for your insights again. And like now, since everybody is aware from the kind of trends that are being in the industry, right, in the automation industry. So, what do you think about the latest trends like AI agents, agentic automation? What is your view, your opinion? With respect to the current RPA landscape.
So agentic automation is the future for the RPA industry. So I would say if anyone
Mm-hmm.
is wishing to enter into the RPA, or if anyone is wishing to survive into the RPA industry,
Mm-hmm.
they need to learn more about these trends. That's the
Yep.
necessary thing I would say, because it's evolving rapidly now. Earlier we were talking about the just traditional RPA hyper automation, where we were trying to combine the ML
Mm-hmm.
related some stuff and then that output as an input for the RPA, and that's how we used to do end-to-end automation under the hyper. But now agentic will change everything. Now it will have the power of taking the decisions also.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that will be the game changer for the RPA industry. So we need to stay up to the latest trends.
Cool. How professionals can stay up to date or relevant in this rapidly changing landscape?
Okay, so the main thing is they need to keep on learning few things every day, I would say, because if the learning
Mm-hmm.
stops, then the growth will stop, you know. And
Yeah.
there are multiple learning platforms. They can go to the Coursera or any other. Your channel is so good to learn or to know more about the recent trends because you
Mm-hmm.
keep on sharing those articles. You know, I have read it multiple times. So
Mm-hmm.
people can learn it from the influencers who are actually active on the link professional platforms like
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn.
Yep.
And now, let's say if I'm specifically talking about any tool, let's say UiPath,
Yep.
Power Automate, they can,
Mm-hmm.
or Automation Anywhere, they can follow their pages for the
Yep.
learning purpose. So
Mm.
certification is available. So we should keep on doing those certification. But one advice: don't do the certification just to share it on a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Rather, learn it. Beautiful thing is for almost every tool, if you see Dipendra, they are having the free version or the community version,
Yeah. Yeah.
trial version.
Yeah.
They can download and they can try automating day-to-day stuff.
True, true. I mean, tools are available, and most of the things are available free. You just need to dig deeper and find out the resources that work out for you.
Exactly. And one point to just add, Dipendra, let's say we are already working as a RPA developer, but we want
Mm.
to grow. We
Mm-hmm.
should keep on asking a question, be it a silly questions, you know, but
Yeah.
we can ask our question to our seniors, leaders, like how to do this, or we
Mm.
should come up with some different ideas to learn more and more. So that should be a one of the approach. If we keep quiet and if we keep automating 1 to 10 steps and not exploring or asking other things, then we will be
Yeah.
stuck actually.
Yeah. A curious mind and
Exactly.
asking questions, whatever comes your way. Superb. So that's a mantra to follow along. So, what advice, probably a last question, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting their career into or want to start their career in automation?
Okay, so I would tell them to stay updated with the latest trends and
Mm-hmm.
try to learn more and more. And let's say if I'm giving an example of UiPath or Automation Anywhere or be it Power Automate, they keep on doing some hackathons or board
Mm-hmm.
games.
Yeah.
Keep on trying it. No one is
Mm.
there to judge you. It's for
Yeah.
your own learning, you know.
Correct.
So you should keep on participating because then your networking will start grow. Ask
Yeah.
them how they build
Mm.
this solution so that you will understand the different ways of developing the same solution. This is one way they can keep on learning from the open source platform, or maybe they can go to Coursera or other
Yeah.
learning platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how then they can keep themselves updated with the industry trends. Gamification is the
Yeah.
game changer, I would
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
because I also used to participate in such a board games earlier. So it
Mm-hmm.
genuinely helped me even during joining the new company. Also, I would say because then we stay up to date, like what's the happening into the
Yeah.
industry, and it helps you to be more active into the interview. And they, of course, interviewer ask us the questions about the latest trend. So and if we are doing the hands-on session, then we will able to answer it properly. So that's the thing actually.
Yep. Yep. These are few of the ways to keep yourself up to date and what's happening around you in the industry,
Yeah,
and build connections, build your
exactly,
connection.
exactly.
So Pradnya, one more question that came in mind is like, what is one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you started in this field way back?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. So, Dipendra, I remember one incident when I was working as a RPA developer and with hardly 1 or 2 year of experience. So,
Mm-hmm.
I delivered one use case which had good benefits, ROI. So, my manager called me in cabin and he asked me to explain the process. And Dipendra, now I'll laugh at it, but I literally started explaining process like I have to log into this website, put the credential, extract this Excel, download it, we look up and then submit the transaction ID. So that's how I explained. But then he heard it. He is very good listener, so I always thank to him. And then he gave me one advice, Pradnya, you should always understand what is the in source, what is the input, how the data is coming to you, and
Mm-hmm.
how the output should be. So let's say you have automated end-to-end step, what actually happens in the background. So as a RPA developer, I will advise we should not follow whatever the steps we should follow whatever the steps are given in the PDD, but we should understand the business logic for it, because once we grow in our career, understanding the business logic along with the technical thing is also important. So that advice was really necessary for me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is written in a PDD or your URS document, it would be like the business would be doing that process in that way, but as a human. But if you think of an automating thing, there might be some ways which like you don't have to follow the linear paths or the linear approach. You can devise your own like by understanding the process, you can induce your own ways of doing things in automation.
Exactly. The optimization is one of the points, and understanding the business and why they do it and what happens after doing this automation is also important, because then with that sometimes it might be possible that we can suggest them, yes, this part also we
Mm.
can automate. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's how
It's just not
the change.
blindly copying and following VDD. That's a very cool advice. So yeah, Pradnya, thank you so much for your time. And probably like we are towards the end of the discussion, and I would like to know how has been your experience coming to this podcast.
It was wonderful. I didn't even feel like I'm giving podcast. I feel like I'm literally talking to you. We are discussing, and that was a really wonderful experience. So thanks
Mhm.
a lot, Dipender, for inviting me for this podcast. It means a lot to me.
Thank you so much for giving your time. It's a pleasure hosting you and having a discussion. If you guys have any questions around the discussion topics that we touch base upon, you can reach out to us in comments, and we will get back to you. So thank you so much once again, Pradnya, for your time. Uh,
Thanks, Dipender.
have a
Have a
wonderful
good day.
rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.